Well, welcome to another video. You saw us unbox this wonderful bit of kit, Sena 10C Evo, that Sena sent to us very kindly to see what we thought about it.
What do you think about it, Toby?
Well, I fitted it into the helmet, and if I can hold that there, fitted it into the helmet, and it was really easy to fit it into the helmet, so I'm not sure whether you can see that. You can't see anything in that helmet with wires. The wires are really, really thin. They fit in really well. It comes with another added bit of Velcro where you can put a clamp over so you can hold the wires there. Now, funnily enough, when I put it in, and the boom mic is one boom mic with a cover on it, and it's got a little prong so it won't come off. Nice. On my other one, I'm going to have to put a tie wrap or something on because it keeps coming off. But this unit is not only a communication device, but it's also, more importantly for us, it's a video device. Ooh, which is really good.
That sounds impressive.
Yeah.
But complicated.
But complicated. Okay. That camera seems very close. So, on the bottom, SD card in there, covered by a nice little slot. I think it takes up to 64 gig. Now this is quite funky. This is the connection to hold the bike on. So you've got to take that off to get the movement. But it's got like a little clamp. It's a proprietary connection, so it's made by the manufacturer, obviously. It's not like a standard one. So you'd have to buy their own inserts for other helmets. But it actually clamps on, which I think is quite good. It remains to be seen how sturdy that is as we ride around the world. But we shall see, I'm sure. It's not straight. Right, so then coming round here, you've got another button to operate the phone and that sort of stuff. Then you've got the charging port. Now, this is where it starts to go down a little bit with the design and the thought about this for me. Now, imagine the amount of times we're going to be charging that in there. It's a standard USB-C micro port thing, or USB micro thing. Comes with it, but you've really got to be dead sure that you can't just go like that, like on others, because it flicks up. So if you're riding you're riding in inclement weather that we get all around Cornwall and around the world, that's just going to get wet. Yeah. So it remains to be seen how versatile or how that lasts, that bit of plastic.
That's a design fault, isn't it?
Well, I just think it's a little bit weird that they would put that right on the top.
If they made that a bit thicker, the recess a bit bigger, they could put a bigger piece of rubber in, perhaps. It's just not.
Yeah. Then you've got the aerial, then you've got a camera button up there, and then you've got another button in the middle and a jog wheel. Now, brilliant. Brilliant. To connect the phone is really, really easy. You turn it on, and then you press and hold that one for 5 seconds, and then search for it on your phone, and it connects. So as soon as I turn it on, and I think what we'll do is I'll just put the microphone really close. Turns on.
Hello.
Hello.
Phone connected.
Phone connected.
Wow.
That quick. Really, really good.
There's something coming now, isn't there? There's something coming.
Now, I really like the fact that this is a small unit. It connects really good. I've got it to the GPS and the phone at the moment. It's not the normal way I would have it. I just have phone to GPS, GPS to headset, because I don't want my phone connected to all these different bits and connected to this. I want it all to go through the GPS when I'm on the bike. The thing that I found the struggle with is there's so many buttons, and I know that you're going to say, well, there's only 1, 2, 3 buttons and a jog dial, but there's so many different configurations of having to press those buttons to do certain things that it gets really confusing.
It'd be no good me doing it.
Well, but I've got a website business. I'm on the computer finding out about different stuff all the time.
You're a geek. Is that what you're trying to say?
Well,
geeky boy.
Geeks are in.
Are they?
Yeah.
Okay.
But even with all that ability to understand different things quite quickly, I found it really hard to understand this right off the bat. The interphone, put it on,
It's easy.
Relatively simple to use and really easy. Now, I don't know whether some of my confusion with this is because I've got confused between this is how the interphone works, so why doesn't this work the same way? So I've had to kind of try and scrub that from my brain. I think the camera setup, which you'll see a little bit later, has got a good picture. The microphone's really good. That picks it up. But to update this, so on the app, so there are some apps. I'll open the app and I'll show you on the screen.
Might not be very good out here in the sunshine, because we have got sunshine here today.
We have, but I'll put it on the screen. There are a plethora of Sena apps.
Plethora means an overabundance.
Yeah. So for this headset, I think I've got the right combination, although it's really confusing. I've downloaded the Sena app, and it's the Sena utility. And the first thing that I'm greeted with is a pop-up saying, we recommend you update your headset to the latest firmware to take advantage of the latest technology built into Sena hardware.
Which is a good idea.
Fantastic. So I click OK, and up at the top of the screen, it's got keep your firmware up to date with a link. So I click it, and it comes up with the same message saying, we recommend that you do it. So I went back to the manual.
There's like a circular thing going on there, isn't there?
Then went online to where it told me to go online, downloaded. Now, I only use Macs. That's for a whole completely different video, but I only use Macs. Downloaded the Mac app from the App Store. Seemingly thought, wow, this is going really well. It's downloaded okay. Plugged the lead into the back of the Sena and into the computer. USB-C ports, it should be backwards compatible, all that sort of stuff. And the software will not recognise the unit.
And we've tried it on both units.
Tried it on the
Macs.
Pro and the Evo, on both Macs. And looking through the forums, there seems to be a massive issue with this not being recognised on any computer that's got anything above a USB, I think it's a USB 2, maybe a 3, which is old technology. This is brand new.
I'm nodding my head here, I've got a clue what you're talking about.
This is like £400 worth, and the big bugbear for me is that every time I open the app, it says, we recommend you update it. So you go to update it, and it doesn't recognise it, and that's a real issue. People need to be able to update it easily, because this is built to be easy. But on the plus side, the app does allow you to go into the app. It gives you what do they call it, a QR code that you can get other people to scan on their app, and it connects both things together. You can delete paired devices, update paired devices, edit them. You've got loads of basic settings, which I really like. So you can go through the audio boost, the Vox phone, Vox intercom, so you can talk into it and answer. It also enables multitasking. So if you get GPS stuff come through and say at the next roundabout turn right, it will just dim the music and bring it back up, so you're not kind of being cut off all the time, which is one of the issues that I haven't had my interphone on the GPS before, because you're talking to a mate and it's say, just at the pivotal point where they're going, we're going to turn right in a minute, it cuts off and the GPS says turn right, comes back on, you catch a little bit.
I don't know how you do that. I don't know how you have that voice in your head.
I don't know. That's why I don't do it. That's why I don't do it. But you can change things like the audio source priority and give the priority to one of the sources that are coming in, HD voice, HD intercom, turn the background volume up and down of that dimmed music and stuff, voice prompts, FM stations, sort all them out, noise, advanced noise control, a whole host of stuff, tune it in for FM, put your speed dial on. I think it's a really, really good unit. However, we're talking about apps. So I would expect on that app to be able to go in and do all the settings and then view the camera to make sure it's in the right place. But oh no, there's another app for this.
Oh no.
So you have to download the Sena camera app. And I get that it's two things, but the Sena camera app connects via Wi-Fi, of which this has got a Wi-Fi in it. So you've got to go every single time into the app, select the 10C Evo, and then it says press the phone button and the jog dial for 1 second to turn on the headset. So you do that. Then you've got to turn the camera and Wi-Fi on. You've got to tap the camera button once. Then you've got to then go back into your settings on your phone and connect to the Wi-Fi for the 10C.
Losing the will to live.
And then you can then use the app. And I get, even with the drifts that we use, GoPros, they connect via Wi-Fi to sort the camera out, and that might be a technological thing that they can't get over. However, from a layman's point of view and an easy use of an app, I would expect the app to be able to do everything that I want it on one connection, rather than having to come back out and back in and back out and then back in to do any of that. So I haven't really played with the camera app because I kind of got to the point where I thought, I've got the thing on here, it's working, the sound quality is amazing, the speakers are really good, the bass is really good. In actual fact, it's that good that I've had to turn the volume down.
The speakers are really good on it.
Yeah, because I've been riding along and not being able to hear the bike.
Yeah.
It's been really good. The camera, I think, is going to be really good. We'll show you that in a minute. But the downside for me is that it seems very complicated to use. And I mean, no disrespect to people that really like Sena above everything else. I think some of it's about what you get used to. I like it. I really like it. It will remain to be seen whether we use it as a vlogging thing, which I think we will, because the camera and the microphone seamlessly in one thing. But I have noticed when you're using it and you're filming, this part of the headset gets really hot.
Oh, wow.
Really warm. In terms of how it fits on, it's really, really sturdy. The buttons give you some really nice feedback. When you press stuff, you know you've pressed it. It gives you audible stuff. That side of it, I think, is really, really good. But you've got to get your head around having to press different combinations of different things. Bear in mind, you're riding a bike. This should be really easy.
Oh, I'm a little bit worried now.
Well, you know, I might be speaking a bit out of turn. I think it will be really easy once you get used to the configurations you've got to press. So I don't want to take too much away from Sena, but there are a couple of points that I don't particularly like at this time. They might get better in time. Is that I can't, for the life of me, update the thing via the computer or the app. The app that pops up keeps telling me that there's a new firmware that they would recommend, and you click on it and it just gives you the same message, which I think is counterintuitive. Other than that, I think it's going to be a nice little unit, depending on the video quality and the sound from the microphone.
Cool.
So, all in all, I think it's worth the money. I think there's some things that Sena perhaps need to look at and cater for people that are using different computers and enable it to be just a little bit easier. The manual, just before we go, the manual that I have handily tucked in away, to hand, obviously.
Really?
Yeah.
In there.
Yeah. Right, this manual, it's got loads of information and it's really, really well laid out. But it takes...
An Eon.
Well, it didn't take me an eon, but it took me a long time to work out exactly what all the buttons were. Because, they, you know, and I'm not thick, I don't think, but...
I was supposed to say something then, wasn't I?
Yeah. But I found it really quite difficult to just pick it up and go, right, okay, I need to pair something. So it says mobile phone pairing, hold for 5 seconds. It took me a while to understand that that circular button is the circular button on the back, not the circular button there. So it just... Perhaps that's me not reading the manual properly, probably is. But there are some things I think that they could do to improve the usability right out of the box. Considering they want people to not only buy this unit from scratch, but obviously they want people to buy this unit as a one catch-all thing and come from something else. They've got to make it a bit easier, I think. But
so are we going to go out and have a ride on it then?
We're going to go out, have a ride on it, see what the video and the microphone's like, and then we'll leave it up to you to decide. But thank you, Sena, for sending it to us.
Brilliant.
Doesn't it look sleek, though?
Nice.
I really do like the fact that it's sleek. Oh, and the other thing I noticed when I was riding, just very, very quickly, is you're riding along, other than it tells you that the camera is on and camera recording, because you've got to turn it on, then you've got to press it to record, it doesn't give you any visual representation via a LED anywhere around here that the camera is on. So when you're riding along, and very often you need to check, even looking in the mirror, unless you do that, of course the helmet's there so you can't see, you're not 100% sure it's recording. Oh, yeah. So I would perhaps get them to put a little light or something there just to give you that thing. But
parrot or something.
Yeah, I really like it. Thank you, Sena, for sending it to us. I think the quality is going to be really good and we'll be using it for most of our vlogs.
Brilliant.
So you've heard what the... So we thought we'd get out on the bike and let you see what the recording is like and what the sound from the microphone's like. So it fits on the helmet really, really well, and I've chosen to use the sticky mount to stick it right on the side of the helmet. And I've been riding with it on the helmet, listening to the music and all that jazz, and haven't noticed anything different with the helmet. In fact, I've probably felt less on the helmet than when I had the Drift Ghost on the side, although there's nothing in it. I think it's just me being a little bit too critical of what's on the helmet. It's totally fine. You don't know it's there. It's recording. Once you've got used to the configuration of all the buttons, because the button configurations is a little bit complicated for a unit that's doing so much. Well, I'll rephrase that. It's not complicated for a unit that's doing so much. It's complicated when you're used to a unit that has got lots of functions but seems to be really, really easy to use because it hasn't got hundreds and hundreds of buttons. Obviously this one hasn't got hundreds of buttons, but you have to press them in different configurations, and then you have to press and hold to get things working, and to get it connected to your Bluetooth is really, really easy. It connects to the phones really, really quick. It connects to your sat-nav really, really quick. As soon as you turn it on, it says hello, and then it says connected, and you're good to go. The recording seems quite good. Now it's capable of recording in 2160 UHD, so I think that's 2K. Anyway, really good quality. We usually have stuff set in 1080p to record anyway, just because it's easier to edit. I guess we should be upping our game with the resolution a little bit, because in post-editing it drops it down a little bit when it takes it up to YouTube, so the quality might improve a little bit as you see the weeks of vlogs with bike reviews and stuff coming along. Overall, I'm really quite happy with it. I have noticed, however, when you're recording, so you turn it on, let it connect. If you're listening to music, it will record the music that you're listening to in your helmet. So just be aware of that for copyright reasons of all the original content creators and all that sort of jazz. Just be very wary of that, because you might be talking about something you really want to put on YouTube, and if you've got music on there, it kind of spoil that a little bit. The quality of the speakers when you're listening to the music is exceptional, I've got to say that. The high notes, the low notes, the bass, the sound is just really, really good quality. And the speakers are really loud. If you put your phone on the highest setting, highest volume setting, and put your headset on the highest setting without earplugs, I think you'd really struggle to have the music playing. It is really, really loud. The quality is really, really good. I haven't experienced any dropouts of Bluetooth or anything else while I've been riding. Call quality, exceptional, the same as the interphone that we use. Haven't really noticed anything different, just really, really good quality. So overall, I'm quite happy. However, there are a couple of little down points I would say. So the first one being is you're riding along and you're recording, you're talking on the vlog, and you're doing all this wonderful stuff, and inspiration comes into your head, you're talking about it, and that's great. And then you get back and you realise it's not recording, because you've got to press and hold the camera button to turn the camera on, and then you've got to press and hold it only for a split second until it says recording. To stop it recording, you've got to press the camera button on the top for a split second and it will stop recording, and then press and hold it to turn the camera off. Well, that's all well and good, but I'm not sure whether you can see in the mirror there. There is no way to tell from the front of the camera that it's recorded. There's no LED light, there's no indication at all that your camera is recording when you're riding along, and I find that one of the biggest things that you kind of check. And I didn't realise that I checked so much until I got this headset. So going along and you're recording your video, talking along, all that inspiration, all that jazz comes into your head, and you think, right, that's brilliant. And every now and then I'd look in the mirror just to make sure and to confirm with myself that the red light or the green light is on, just to say that it's recording. And this one hasn't got it. And I think that's quite a downside for me and for, I guess, a lot of motor vloggers. If they're out and about, you want to make sure that what you're recording is actually recording. Now, on the front of the camera, there's a handy little jog dial right down at the bottom, and what that does is it enables you to level the camera. So if you have put it onto your helmet, so forward, you would have to make sure that the level is right forward, but if it's kind of off to the left hand side or on a bit of a slant because of the shape of your helmet, what you can do is you can use that little knobbly bit, that little grommet that's sticking out, to actually level the video out, which I think is a really, really good feature. And the difference between the Evo and the Pro is that the Pro has got a protruding lens that you have to turn. This one's got a little grommet that sticks out that you can just sway from one side to the other so that you can level the video. And with the Pro has a little cap on it. Now, Mark was out riding the other day, didn't want to use the camera, so had the cap on. Got back to his destination and found that the cap had fallen off. Whereas this one, you don't have that issue. I think this unit is a little bit neater, it looks a little bit more sleeker, it looks newer. It certainly feels better when you hold it. But that downside of the no light, that's a real pain for me. And I have noticed when you are recording, if you feel the side of the camera, it's really quite warm. It gets really hot. Now, I'm not sure whether that's going to be an issue. Certainly not wrecked anything yet. Certainly just performed as it should do, and it hasn't been adversely affecting anything. However, it does get really hot. Not burning hot, but it's hot to the touch, you know, like if you're excessively using your mobile phone in the sun and you're using maps and using your GPS, the back of the phone gets really hot. It's that sort of heat. Other than that, the unit seems to be functioning really, really well. I think the quality of the camera recording is really quite good. And what I've had to do is train myself to try and talk a little bit quieter, because when I first took this out and thought, oh, I'll see what it's like, I was just talking normally, and the audio was peaking a little bit. You can change it on the settings, but I think it's just nice to hear someone a little bit calmer, I think, when you're talking. So I've tried to keep my level of voice down a little bit, because the gain and the sensitivity of the mic is really, really good. We've gone over the music, the Bluetooth connections, the app. Now, the app you can use, and I know that you've seen the app and we've talked about the app. The app's really good. You can change the settings. A little bit annoyed with the fact that I can't update it because I use a Mac and it only seems to want Windows. But I'm sure we'll get that sorted in time, or it'll be a firmware update, I'm sure, if ever we're able to do a firmware update, that is. And I really like it. I really like it. I'm hoping that it's going to up our game in terms of the quality of the video that we put across when we're riding. The quality of the video when we're talking to each other, you know, that's kind of good. It's a GoPro Hero 8 and Canon cameras, and they seem to be pretty good. But where I think we've been kind of lacking a little bit is the cameras on our helmets when we've been riding, because sometimes the quality isn't the greatest, and I'm hoping that this will improve it. And having it all in one fixed unit, where once I've done that, I can start listening to my music. If a phone call comes in, I can take the phone call. You know, all of that stuff, I think it's really good. Getting used to the configuration of buttons is quite confusing, but I think that confusion over the configuration of the buttons is because I'm coming from an Interphone that I've had for several years. I've always been with them, and it's just learning it's just learning the eco culture or the user interface, and you know, the configuration of all the buttons, and making sure that I'm a bit more conversant with how the Sena works. But overall, really, really quite pleased. There are some glitches, some little bits like we've talked about, you know, the no light on the front, the fact that the app we can't update the firmware on a Mac. Little things like the fact that you have one app to change all the settings, which is brilliant, but then you've got to go and get another app for the camera, and then you've got to turn the camera on, then you've got to select Wi-Fi, and then you've got to connect to Wi-Fi, and then set the app up. But for me, now that the app has been set up and the camera has been set up at the right angle and the right height, I don't see any point in using that app ever again, to be honest, because the card, I can download the footage if I need it. I can also download the footage off the dash cam if I need it on the bike, so there's not really a need to have constant access to videos and things from my phone. So all in all, I think it's really quite a good little system. I think it's worth its money because it's got so much involved in it. It's got, you know, you can have music, video, Bluetooth, FM radio, connect to other people to speak. It's got a massive list of features, and I think it's a really good, sleek looking system. And I've wanted to try Sena for a long time, and to be honest, I don't feel let down by the Sena. I think there's compromises when you buy, and when you have any different make of stuff, there's always a compromise about something. It remains to be seen how well it stands the test of time for us doing our reviews and daily videos and that sort of stuff. But we'll let you be the judges of that. But hopefully it's given you an idea of the kind of the issues that we've had with it, what we think about it, more importantly what the camera is like. And incidentally, I have done this a couple of times, this talk and this review of this camera while I've been out riding, and one of the times, for some unknown reason, I went through all of the normal stuff like formatting your card and all of that sort of stuff, but one of the times I was talking, I'm riding along, and this is obviously when I'm reviewing it, I'm riding along on the video, and it really didn't cope with really bright light and then dark light instantly. It seemed to affect it, and there seemed to be quite a reflection off my helmet. So I think what I might have to do is just change the location of where the camera is and see if I can get it closer to the front, so that there's not so much reflection off the white helmet, because I think that was causing a bit of an issue and causing the camera to think it was brighter than it was. But other than that, I think it's a really good system. Have a look at the link. Thanks to Sena for sending them to us so that we can review. I'm looking forward to doing some bike reviews and getting back out there now that things are starting to calm down a little bit. And hopefully we can use this camera and bring those videos to you. So if you've liked the video, give it a massive thumbs up. It really does help us. Hit the subscribe button. That'll be somewhere on the screen or below. It's the big red one anyway. You know the score. And look very much to seeing you in the next video.